Hey traders, it's Hima here and I've got a skinny dip for you. Levels you need to know for US presidential election week. Today's Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. Important reminder before we take a look at the charts that trading and investing can be extremely risky business. Therefore, it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained in this video. All right, so let's take a look at the daily chart of the E-mini S&P 500 futures front month contract. So specifically the December 2020 contract. So you can see that in today's candle, November 3rd, I have this purple vertical line. What does that mean? That means today is key timing for this market. Specifically, key timing expectations that a low will form. Now you can see that we've got a low that came in 2 days prior. And I think this is going to be the low for some time. Of course, depending on how the US presidential election goes, it's a very interesting one to say the least. We may not know results for days, or we could know really fast. Who knows, right? But either way, there are key levels I want you to monitor because they will really guide your trading of the broader market and the E-mini S&P if you trade the futures directly in any way. So the first two levels I want to show you are ones that actually held as support that help me point out to my Skinny in the Markets members who get my ES research every day that this low from 2 days ago is forming and be ready for the move higher we've seen so far. Well, what are those levels? I'm going to add them here for you. The first is right here, 3233.13. Now, if you know anything about futures, you might be wondering, hey, how are you getting a 0.13 value, right? Futures, ES futures move from 0.25 to 0.5 to 0.75 to 0.00. I know, I'm fully aware of that, but the method I use to calculate this support is based on breaking down ranges of price into smaller segments. That's why sometimes the calculation yields a level that's technically in between. 0.13 really is 0.125 rounded up, and 0.125 is the midpoint between 0.00 and 0.25. So 3233.13 held, and you can see it held by very little margin here. The low on October 30th was 25, and the level was 33, an 8-point difference. Okay, now what else gave me confidence about that low was another level. I'll show you here. The next one was 3246.25. Look at how close it was to 3233.13. It created a nice zone of support, right? Two levels close together, and we could look at that whole zone in between. So that reinforced the importance of support coming into play over these past several days. All right, now where do we take it? Now that price is turning higher, where do we look next? That next level is 3383. Now here's a really cool thing, guys. Every single one of these levels was calculated the exact same way. And I detail the source of the calculations in the Skinny on the Mini, which is again my ES futures report that I put out multiple times a week. And frankly, when I'm not traveling, which these days isn't very much, I publish nearly every trading day. So the 3383 is the next upside target. What happens at that level is very important over the next few days, so pay attention now and jot this down. If we get up to 3383 and post a daily closing break above it, so a whole daily candle with a close above it, that's the first good sign that the market might actually get back towards the highs from earlier in the month or even the September high. Even more confidence would be if we have two daily closes above 3383. Okay. Now, if we get up to 3383 and don't see that climbing over that fence, bulls aren't able to clear that level, then you might see another round of weakness. And again, potentially fueled by volatility tied to the election results, that could come back to the low that we had a couple days ago, the low from late September or further down. And these are big picture steps, but I guide my members in the Skinny and the Mini in detail day to day. All right, so the two big things today. Today, November 3rd, Election Day in the United States, is actually turning out as key timing, not because it's Election Day, but because of the cycles I've uncovered, which I detail those methods in the loss forecasting trading system. And the next upside target that's very important to watch is 3383. And in my Skin in the Mini reports, I'll continue to monitor those levels and detail out ones further and further depending on how price action plays out. So keep this in mind as these historic US elections unfold, and I'll catch you on the inside. You can sign up at himaready.com/gift to get my hot, timely, actionable updates As soon as I publish, right to your inbox.